at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. 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 Yo. See, it's rare that you find people like us. Cause all y'all other out there doing what I'm doing. Or trying to do what I'm doing. But you can't. So I do what I do my way. What about you? Huh? Come on!
I do any and everything you want to make your girl say, ooh, ooh, why's he so fly? She beats me, never she wanna get freaky.
You are locked in on Wednesday to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, bringing it you in my way. You know, Usher, baby. We're going to get into a little Usher news later. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope your week is going amazing. And now you are here to get your dose of entertainment, lifestyle, sports, culture, all of that, all the trending topics and headlines. That's what we do here on RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, before we get into tonight's topics, because there's some good ones, and you know it's Wednesday, so that means that we have a guest contributor, I want to take a moment to remind you to follow us everywhere on social media. If you're not already doing that, shame on you. Hit us up, KBLA 1580, everywhere. Hit me up personally at Stiletto Jill, everywhere. Also, if you haven't downloaded the app, in case, you know, you need to skirt off in the middle, you can take us with you on the go. Listen to us at any time, not just this show, all the shows that are on the station. We appreciate that. We love that. And, of course, drop into the YouTube chat to get the visual with this audio. Hit up YouTube 1580. I mean, KBLA 1580. You know that. And then, lastly, if you want to get in on the conversation at any point tonight, you know you can hit us up, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We love getting your input. And we have some great topics tonight that you might want to add your special mix to. So let me give you the rundown of what we're going to get into tonight. So you heard Usher. He likes it his way, right? And we have been celebrating Usher the last few weeks, months, really. It's going to be a big culmination next year. And then it kicks off again with something new. But before that, you know, Usher is on his third major public relationship. Well, fourth, I guess, actually. But he's only been married twice. Can you say only been married twice? We are. You can. I'm getting some disagreeing on that. Well, that's what we're going to say. Well, his ex-wife, not Tamika Raymond, we've heard from her. His ex-wife, Grace Harry, she is speaking out. She has a new book out. And she is discussing the difficulties that come along with being attached to such a celebrity when you are not interested in the celebrity lifestyle. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to get into, you know, T.I. and Tiny had some strong accusations brought against them from a former friend. And they ended up suing this friend. And we're getting down to the wire with it. And there's been a major decision in the case where T.I. and Tiny are going to get some money. And it's not looking good. We'll get into the details of that. That's in hour 2. Hour 3 is going to be an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about regret. There's a lot of that going around with some people. So, but let me tell you what's bringing it up. So first of all, Damon Dash, he says that he's ready to have a one-on-one conversation with Jay-Z, but only under these particular conditions. So we're going to talk about what those conditions are and why now? Why now? We're also going to get into, I don't know if you know who former NBA star, really former Carolina star, Rashad McCants is, but he used to date a Kardashian. And recently, he was talking about one of his biggest regrets. And we're going to get into that in the third hour. Regret, like I said. We have a theme. And then we're also in that hour, we're going to get into a little, your guy Kanye West. He is leaking text messages again, under the guise. We're going to talk about regret. Of course, we have more topics, but before we get into those, I always have a couple of conversation starters for you. Topics that we can't quite get into the full scope of, but I want you to be aware of. I want you to, have a clue on what's going on, because that's what we do here, keep you aware. So if you haven't heard, we have a WNBA champion back-to-back. The Las Vegas Aces took down the New York Liberty. Shout out to them. They were coming with their bench squad. Not saying that is shade. They had some major injuries, and Aja Wilson went crazy. MVP again for the finals. Looking back at the regular season MVP, like, what were you guys doing? So shout out to them. Big ups to them. If you are a Netflix fan, if you are into your Netflix, get prepared. Netflix is going up once again on their prices. The basic package, that's going up to $11.99. And if you want premium, $22.99. All these streamers, you're adding it up, it's cable all over again. They should just get together. I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, but at some point, they're going to just have to get together, right? Right. So we mentioned Usher, and we're going to get more into the details later about his ex-wife, Grace. But he was honored on October 17th with the key to Las Vegas in his own day. And, he's been a staple for the city since his popular residency has been there. It's coming to a close soon, so you better get it in. But we know he has a Super Bowl performance and world tour coming next year. I plan to be in the building. I'm sad that I did not make it to Vegas to go see him. I'm really sad about that. I wanted to see him in Paris too. But shout out to Usher. I mean, the comeback, not that he ever really went away, but the comeback has been incredible, and you like to see it. So, listen, we're going to get into all of that and more. And plus, we have our guest contributor tonight, Trent Jackson, our Keep It Real friend. And he is going to weigh in on all of these topics and give his opinion as only he can. I know he can't wait for the third hour. And we're going to be taking your suggestions for our Tubi movie of the week to watch. We have no movie for this week because you guys didn't fill us up with suggestions. So we're waiting. We'll get into that on the other side. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing us into fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots. A lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Leimert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K-Line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-Line.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome forward. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, it is Wednesday, middle of the week. And of course, you know, on Wednesdays, I am not alone here in the KBLA studios. I am joined by our Keep It Real friend, our guest contributor, Mr. Trent Jackson, Trent the artist.
What's poppin'?
Welcome back to RSVP, Trent.
Always. Thank you. I appreciate it.
How's your week going?
You know, my week is great. There's no drama. Everything is peaceful and low-key in my life.
It's a low-key zen-like state.
Yeah, there's something that happened to me on air this morning when I was on doing my show, but that's pending. Yeah.
Oh, pending.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will wait till it switches to active.
Well, it's a situation.
It's a situation.
Yeah, like it's a situation. But other than that, like I'm not even worried about it though. It's cool. It's gonna work itself out.
Okay, we'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back to it like next week.
Well, so you know it's memoir season apparently. Well,
clearly,
not memoir.
What's up with that? All these new books coming out. I need to get on the slate and make my book come out.
Maybe.
What am I waiting on?
What are you waiting on?
I got a lot of stories to tell too.
'Tis the season. This is not a memoir, so I should correct myself on that. Grace Harry, who is Usher's ex-wife, she is an American businesswoman, an executive chef, and a joy strategist and activist, right? She is releasing her first book. It's called The Joy Strategist. And it's part memoir, so I'm not misspoken in saying that, but it's also prescriptive self-help. You know, there are exercises, cultural commentary.
I'm more so curious about this American businesswoman. Like, tell me more.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Like, she was the EVP of Marketing and Creative Services at Island Def Jam. So
yes.
She is a businesswoman.
She's a high fancy she's a party planner. An experience creator. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, VP of Marketing and Creative Services is a whole different thing.
No, separate from that. Like this what is it? Joy Maker Creators, Joy Situation Station?
We are not disparaging her thing.
I'm not. I just want to be clear.
We'll get into that. But she was a chef. She was a chef on the set of The Cosby Show for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
And so basically...
The original one?
Yeah, the original one.
How old is she?
You know, she was, Usher prefers a seasoned woman.
Yeah, so I'm like, she's 52.
Somewhere in there,
5.
probably.
Okay.
And so basically the joy strategist, she says, will equip readers to define what exactly brings them joy and what they can do to live lives imbibed with wonder, self-love, and creative ambiance.
Okay.
I like that. Sounds interesting.
Joy. Okay. What is it called again?
The Joy Strategist.
Joy Strategist. Okay, that's interesting and new. And I was not trying to make fun of it. It's just a term I've never heard before. And I'm just like,
I think she developed
let's unpack this. So what is that really about? So okay.
So
let me write this down. Joy Strategist. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Grace, as she is preparing for the release of her book, she's of course interviewing, and so she recently went on Way Up with Angela Yee, and they were discussing her relationship with Usher and how it was difficult for her because she never ascribed to the celebrity aspirational lifestyle. She doesn't get into that. She's like, she doesn't like to do her hair. She's not trying to be that person. And so it was an interesting aspect to explore and go through in that relationship. And oh, by the way, Usher was her third marriage. So, what you look perplexed?
I'm so confused right now. So let me unpack
Do you
this.
want to hear what she had to say?
No,
first?
I don't.
Okay.
Because
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
trying to like her, but it's throwing me. So you don't like celebrity, but you are a celebrity chef on a TV
She
show.
was,
Okay.
yeah.
But you orbit celebrity and you're around it, but you don't like it, but you are still in it. Like, I don't understand. Like, switch lanes.
Yeah.
It's annoying me, just like this joy strategist thing. I'm trying to wrap my
be
mind.
annoyed. Just
Come on,
listen.
come on. What
Let's
are we
listen.
doing here?
Okay, well, let's listen to what she has to say about the relationship and what she found challenging within it.
I worked with a million. I mean, I've been around the world with a huge artists.
Yeah, but we didn't know you were married to them, though. So.
But that's the thing. I had to really think about it. And you know what's funny? What really made me think about it is that I was traveling for a long time. I did a bunch of jobs. I was out of the country with Jay. I was out of the country with Kanye and different people. But when the whole thing happened with Usher, I had to realize,
In
like,
a few
why?
minutes, yeah.
And then I thought about my times with people like Lionel Richie or Mariah Carey. And then it made sense about Usher because you love Jay and you love Kanye and their songs mean a lot to you. But a song that you maybe lost your virginity to or got married to.
They have a connection.
So there's an emotional connection. So that's why the relationship meant more. I felt like I failed in every area because I could care. I mean, look at my hair. I could care less about getting fancy. I didn't want to be on the red carpet. I just, it wasn't a place that was comfortable for me. I loved him and I loved what we were building and I loved all the philanthropic things we were doing. But that version of a world that's aspirational, not knowing me because of the outside, I didn't want to be a part of that.
Were you also reluctant, even in the beginning of your relationship, to take it to that level?
Oh, yes.
Outside of work, like, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
When you start off
'cause
as
you don't-
work and then it crosses over.
Well, I felt like I'd done it smart because I worked the label. He brought in Justin to sign. So I didn't work with him in that way. You know,
Right.
and then I quit. I had a friend who took his life, and I did not enjoy the way it was handled. And I couldn't be in a space anymore that didn't support human life as the number one thing. So I didn't feel so much that. It was more that I was worried about my own kids.
Right.
It was a thing where all of a sudden the media was picking up them and talking about them.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, this is not. And I said, I don't need to ever see this person again if this is going to hurt my children. And I remember calling Miss Leaf, classic. And I said, I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry.
I love
this
her
is-
name.
Thank
Sorry.
you. I'm so sorry about this going on. And she said, what? I got more followers. Like I felt
Come
like
on,
I
Leaf.
hit
Come
the
on,
jackpot of parenting.
Come on, mama.
Right? She was so confident that she was like, it was the best. And then I hit my son, and he said, "Oh, I didn't even notice." So it was from that perspective that it all started. But yeah, I that was very difficult for me.
So basically, she didn't enjoy the experience. She didn't enjoy having her children and family exposed to it, even though her whole career has been involved in that. And so I wonder, that's not the typical story that we generally hear when we hear about these relationships. And you think she came after him going through a very high-profile situation with Tamika Raymond, who was definitely not that type of woman. She was, too, of the industry, had her own career, and they came together through work. Usher likes a work hookup, we see. And so do you think that she's being dramatic in saying this, Trent?
I am a fan of human experiences. I love stories. I loved hearing the little tidbit, and what really struck me is that, that Shakir Stewart situation, that was a really sad situation. So when people are humanized in a way, I empathize with them. So I like her story, right? But at a certain point, it's just like, it's not make it make sense. You don't like celebrity, but that's all you do. So it's like it doesn't add up, and it doesn't make sense to me. Because why would you, if you don't like something, why would you continue to orbit it? Or if something makes you uncomfortable, why would you engage in it? Like, stop playing with me, girl. Go plan a party and cook some tacos and leave me alone.
She does more than plan a party, but
what is it though?
Well, are you talking about what she did at the label with Justin Bieber being the EVP of marketing, or are you talking about what she's doing now as far as the joy
marketers?
You're sitting with a marketer.
I know. Sometimes they plan parties.
Sometimes they do plan parties and events, but let's
Yeah.
not act like there's not strategy and things that go
There's
through
not.
that.
I mean,
There's
there
more.
is. There's a lot of a good one, but it's just interesting to me that you don't like celebrity, but
Well,
everything
it's
that you
gonna get
do
really-
is, and then the killer was the name. She went down a list of names, right? It's
that
like,
she's worked
okay,
with. Well, wait. Here's the next thing that's going to add to your confusion.
see,
So Grace is currently in a long-term relationship with Questlove. So let's hear how she and Questlove went from friends.
no, let's not. Let's
to-
not
Yeah.
even let's leave her alone because Grace needs some grace, and it's not for me.
So we're still gonna play. So
All right, and then since we do know some people in common, Amir, aka Questlove,
Yeah, the best.
right? So I didn't realize this at first, but you guys eventually did let people know that you guys were in a relationship.
Yes.
And I've never seen him do that before. He is so like fiercely private.
He seems very private.
He's very private. I
With
feel
his
like,
life.
to be honest with you, we've been friends for 30 something years.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't do this intentionally, but it felt very much like, okay, if 2019 we're both still fed up, we'll meet at Earth at 17th Street and we'll get each other straight because we've just ebbed and flowed into each other's lives over and over and so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And in really important times. I never would talk about Bonita Applebaum before because I
Right.
didn't want to be, in those days.
Bonita Applebaum is about her.
Right. You
Not
were
like now. I
embarrassed
was
about
embarrassed,
it. Yeah.
right.
You wouldn't be in the video. You said you were like, I don't want anybody to know about this.
I wanted to
Right.
have a career, and in those days, it was really you had to really
Pick,
decide. And
yeah.
so I remember just moments where it was really time for me to step up. I've been being backstage at a concert, and Amir being in there and saying to someone, that she's blah blah blah. So it really was a mutual time of help. He wanted to do the movie. He was questioning whether he could be a director, which is insane if you're a musical director and a drummer and a DJ, but whatever. And I wanted to write a book. I wanted to lean into that part and just didn't have any idea how to do that. And so I think the reason that he was so comfortable being so front and center with our relationship was because it was so aspirational in
Right.
so many ways. We really saw each other in truth. We really wanted to help each other. And neither of us had ever really been in something that was, I had a life coach who said there's three kinds of people in the world. There are matchers, takers, and givers. And being a people pleaser, I only attracted takers, and there was a lot to take. And
Right.
I want to just bleed myself dry to do that. And Amir's also more of a matcher person or a giver person.
Right.
So it was a really nice experience for each other to be in a relationship that was about matching.
So there's a lot to unpack there. One of the things that I do think is true is that I'm gauging that the time that she came up in the industry probably was a similar time to when I came up. And it is true, you did have to make a choice. Even if you had talent for in front of the camera or things that you wanted to explore on that side, you either had to take that path and stick to it, or if you wanted to work behind the scenes and, get on the executive path, you had to be looked at as someone that they could take seriously, not, the party girl or the fun girl. So you did have to choose. But yes, Bonita Applebaum, the song by A Tribe Called Quest, is allegedly about her. And she is currently dating Questlove. They've been friends for a long time. They linked up, as you heard in the interview, in 2019, and she feels they've pushed each other creatively, and that this is the aspirational situation that people should look for. And he helped her find her book and find her joy. Trent isn't saying anything. He's just sitting here with this smile like he has so much to say.
I'm cracking up at forensic accountant in this chat because every single time, like, forensic accountant always takes it there with these hardcore, just come at you straight facts, and it's hilarious, and it's just my style. I love it.
Forensic accountant says, speaking of Usher's first wife, he said, yes, she was suspect. She and her friend.
No. It was suspect.
Suspect in caps.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
caps. Must
Emphasize.
highlight that. We got to
Yes.
emphasize that, yes.
Mhm.
She and her friend had literally booked Wendy's radio show to tell it all and showed up the day of the interview and suddenly had nothing but great things to say about Usher. And so he said that she absolutely extorted Usher. I don't know. Urban Spinster says, I don't trust fast talkers. And Pretty Brown Mimi says, Usher cheated on Tamika, so...
I
Yeah,
want
so a lot
forensic
happening in the
accounting.
chat.
I want forensic accounting to write a book because those are every time there's some great stories. Like, who is is he an accountant to like the stars or something? Like, tell me more. I need to know more. I'm curious.
So listen, but I do kind of like you find it interesting that, I mean, and I guess this is possible that Usher's particular type of celebrity, maybe because it's built not just around artistry, it's built also around him being a heartthrob. And that comes with a certain type of pressure and expectation. And there's not that same type of emphasis when you're in a relationship. Why are you laughing? There's not the same type of emphasis when you're in a relationship with someone who's a musician and isn't put out there to be, every woman's fantasy.
I guess she is. I'm not paying attention to her.
Okay, well,
I can't adjust anymore because next thing you know, she's going to be dating some whoever next week, and I don't know.
Well, she seems to love. Like I said, Usher was her third marriage. So.
Yeah, but there's also love in the SVP of marketing at freaking Arista. I don't know.
Who says that her first two marriages weren't that?
That's what maybe we should read the book to find out who they were, because that if she's not giving up that information and just talking about
joy, you're not interested if it's just about joy.
It sounds like a fun party that you put some 3D ocular eye set things on. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have a good time. It doesn't sound fun.
Okay, well, that is Grace's take on celebrity and loyalty. Whirling.
I'm cool on Grace. I would love to go to one of her dinners.
Well, listen, there are, maybe I should save this topic for the last hour because there's probably some regret in this, but we're going to take this seriously. When we come forward,
what happened?
We're going to get into, there's an actor who's had a rough couple of years, and he's recently announced that he's going to do something about it. He's taking some steps to turn his life around and to, get himself some help. So we're going to talk briefly about that and, see if we think that this will help him get back on track.
Who are we talking about? Because I'm trying not to laugh, but forensic accounting, this chat is off the chain.
Well, we'll get into that on the other side.
Turn my computer
You're locked
the other
into
way.
RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
You don't see it like I see it, so she's out the door. Shotgun in my drop, having fun with the Don system. Based on conversation about how she been chasing me and facing me, saying, give it to me now, baby.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The NAACP is suspending their Nashville, Tennessee branch president over allegations she made toward the organization and state conference leaders. President and CEO Derek Johnson says Vanita Lewis, who is black, has undermined the mission and work of the NAACP. While speaking with WSMV, Lewis characterized the organization's leadership as a dictatorship, saying other local officials have been removed over disagreements as well. A state delegate is throwing his support behind former Mayor Sheila Dixon, who is black, for Baltimore and Maryland's 2024 Democratic mayoral primary. Baltimore City Delegate Sandy Rosenberg endorsed Dixon, saying the city needs a mayor who knows that community problems have to be addressed right away. Mayor Eric Adams, who is black, administration is looking at expanding services offered at New York City's Asylum Application Help Center. Members of the Office of Immigrant Affairs testified at a council hearing. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
in-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage,
and a quarterly over-the-counter allowance.
plus personal equipment.
Meal programs,
a gym membership,
And so much more.
For more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
It's a plus
for all of us.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You had to have the CD to understand this song.
You see
sir. So we're vibing for a minute to TLC, Digging on You. You know, this is from the second album where they went to the stratosphere. It's funny, I saw a conversation.
Did you call it Digging on You? This is Let's Do It Again.
Oh, this is Let's Do It Again.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah.
But in sequence, I bet you if I look up sequencing.
It's probably back to back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, it is Let's Do It Again. You're right. They aren't back to back on the album? No?
Because I was like, this is a B cut. Like, you had to have the actual CD to know this song. This was not like a single or anything. That was my jam. That was like, what, number 4? Yep, I knew it. I had this. This was like the second CD that I ever owned in my life. That's why.
Really?
That's why I knew it was number 4. Yeah.
Okay. This was a good one.
They had some. I was supposed to say they had some interludes on
right,
there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Listen, and I vibed. Crazy Sexy Cool was not only the perfect album title, the imagery of the album, how simple it was, and it really described them. And the thing is, at any given moment, low key, any of them could be any one of those things.
For sure.
You know? It's crazy. There was a conversation happening on Twitter today with this music journalist. He's covered a lot of stuff in the 90s. He's done a lot of covers and things. And so someone was saying how great at marketing TLC was, and he was disagreeing and going down all of the reasons why, you know, they were not good at marketing at all. But what they were is just, you know, they really loved performing, he was saying. It was an interesting conversation. I don't know if I agree with him, but part of his point was if, like, Left Eye was a marketing genius, Supernova would have popped off and things of that nature, and you know, the internal fighting. But that's a conversation.
That's a
for
different conversation. But what we do know is Pebbles had that stitched up,
and did.
Yep.
Shout out to TLC.
Good old Tion.
Well, listen,
silky vocals.
Tion, deep voice Taurus like myself. Yeah. We like that. The cool. Absolutely. So anyway, the chat is ultimately lit up. We mentioned that there's an actor that is going to be taking some time away. He's been away, low-key. It's Jussie Smollett, you know. Come on. Be nice. Be sensitive. Right? He's checking himself into a rehab facility. We don't know why. Right? And we don't know exactly what he is seeking help for. But he's checking in. And, you know, what was released from his representatives is that he's had an extremely difficult past few years and has been quietly working very hard for some time now, and we are proud of him for taking these necessary steps. Translation, I'm coming back for this. Now, let me ask you this, right? It's been a couple of years since the incident. He's gone through, you know, whatever he's gone through. Empire's been off the air for a while. He's been directing. He directed B-Boy Blues, which came out, I think, on BET Plus at some time ago. And then he also has a film with Vivica Fox that is supposed to come out later. Do you think that Jussie can reclaim his space within the industry after all of this? I mean, because I think the only thing we love better than a scandal is a comeback. So do you think he has a legit space with all the work that he's doing to make a comeback?
Sure. If Robert Downey Jr. can do it, so can Jussie Smollett. If Charlie Sheen can do it, so can Jussie Smollett.
But do you think that it's? Do you think the different?
And I say that with all the sarcasm in the world.
No, I know. So, okay, obviously, you know, those are two white men, and we're dealing with drugging and situations.
So you got the correlation.
But I did.
Yes.
But,
okay, good.
So, but I was going to say, here's the difference. One, right, though their actions were hurtful to others, they very much were self-destructive for self, right? Obviously, on set, they could have caused money. Jussie, you know, cost the police or, you know, the manhunt for the people. He set people up, you know, whatever, however you take that. And he has not taken responsibility or he should not, depending upon which side of that do you lay upon. So do you not think that the context surrounding them makes it a little different outside of the obvious racial component?
Here's what I'm going to say. I want to be respectful to my black brother. I really do. And I want to be nice because I also know that things tend to come back and bite you sometimes, right? I believe that you can come back from any situation. However, I don't believe that we are as forgiving towards him, because we knew it was some crap when we heard it. When we heard the story, we were all, as black people, we were looking at him like, bro, seriously? Because we knew it was hogwash and tomfoolery when we heard it. Okay, we knew that. Okay, and then it just got progressively worse, and it was just like, just stop. And at that point, we just like kind of threw it away. Sure, he can come back from it, maybe. We would like to hope, but I think that he needs to just sit down. And when I heard it, I knew for myself, and this is just my own opinion, I knew it was some chemical induced storytelling involved, because it was a convoluted story that just didn't make sense. It didn't add up, and I knew there was a white horse riding around somewhere in the background in his mind to make it all make sense, because it did not make sense. It just, come on.
I mean, we've seen some incredible comebacks.
We have. I think that this is we have to really forget about it. And after Dave Chappelle we ain't forgot about it. Take 10 years.
10 years.
And
a decade.
If it was, here's the thing. When you are black and you're gay and you're caught up in the lights, there's a lot of things that go on that most heterosexuals won't experience. There's a lot of drug use in the gay community. I'm not saying this is him, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of lights, camera action for whatever reason, and you get caught up in that. And I've seen it happen to people who aren't even as close as famous as he is, right? I really feel for him. I really do hope that he genuinely gets the help that he needs, because it's apparent and it's evident. But you got to take some time and a lot of time, not just 1 year, not just time. Come back brand new and different, smell different, look different, so we can be like, wait a minute, all right. Now here's the story.
I think that's what he's setting it up to do. And
then he got on TV with Robin Roberts and lied. Like, come on.
Fahima says, Jill, Jussie Smollett's case was settled. DA Fox gave him probation, community service, and a fine. Then they recharged him again. Where they do that at? I think that there was a lot of pressure. I think that the resources, yada, yada, yada. When things become so high profile, it puts an additional layer of pressure. And though it does seem unfair, I think that had this have been a white celebrity, I don't think that they would have skated either. I think that, are there times and cases? Absolutely. But with some of these things, the idea that just, because they're black and they should just get a slap on the wrist is unrealistic to a degree.
It depends on your celebrity, okay?
Well, hold that thought. We're going to put a pin on this.
Yeah.
When we come forward, we'll hear your full thoughts on that, because I want to hear what you have to say about that and that breakdown. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer, and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep, that is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, Trent, you had a point you were going to make about celebrity and who would and would not have been able to skate as far as a situation like this, depending upon certain parameters. So what are those parameters?
When you reach a certain level of celebrity, like this stratospheric level of celebrity, when everybody knows who you are, when people in the Midwest know who you are, okay, and they rock with you, that's how you know. Like when Mid-America, the other constituency, when they know who you are, when you've got that OJ effect, right? You can get away with mostly anything. Certain celebrities have it. Will Smith had it for a long time. Now, if Will Smith would have put some stuff like this in his prime, easy. He would have got away. Wouldn't even make. Listen. Certain people have that effect. Jesse had not done enough. He had not crossed over. He was still a black celebrity. He might as well have been Stephanie Mills in 85.
And
as far as the celebrity goes.
You said Stephanie Mills in 85.
Yep, black people only.
Andy.
He just wasn't a superstar.
Yep.
I mean,
that's all.
Realistic, but the irony is, wasn't that part of his goal in doing this was so that he could become an icon, like, a gay rights icon, the note that he said, and he was trying to make himself a martyr.
Like Whitney Houston, didn't we almost have it all?
Listen, I hope that he's talented.
There's no coming back from this, and just like Forensic said in the Forensic Counsel in the chat, there were so many things that came from this.
People are rooting for Britney.
That's completely different, and she's a white woman. Of course they're rooting for Britney.
Okay.
Of course they are. She was held captive in her own house by her own family with her own money.
and made to work. Yeah.
What? That is insane. Like, tell me more. Oh, I've already pre-ordered the book.
Did you pre-order the
Oh,
book?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Let me tell you what I'm going to start doing.
And also, Sly Stone has a new book out, too. It's a new autobiography, since we're speaking of them. That's probably one that's forgotten, but that's another story that's very important because they stole from that man for years. He was homeless and all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. True indeed.
Talk about a comeback story. Legend, OG.
What I'm going to start doing is, because obviously we talk about a lot of books on here and I like to read. I am a reader. I am going to start a reading list and link all the books so that, if you guys are interested or you want to go check them out, then we'll have a whole list and you can go and we can recommend stuff and that'll be fun. That's what I think. I've been thinking about that because we talk about books pretty much every week and I am a reader. I do order a lot. I am not the type to just let them sit. Well, let me say this. I also am not one of those people that believe in not putting a book down. If I'm not enjoying a book, I will put it down. I don't feel obligated to finish a book if I don't like it.
There was a recent autobiography that I picked up and I started reading it and I put it down.
Whose was it?
I really like this guy a lot. But I don't want to say because I like him a lot. Well, I'll say
it doesn't mean that you don't like them as a person.
Yeah.
You this is a content, much like a project
Morris
or a
Day.
song. Really?
I couldn't get the dialogue between he and Prince back and forth when it first started. It was just like this is venturing off in a different territory for me.
Do you think for someone like Morris, right?
Yeah.
Who is incredibly talented in his own right, seized the opportunity that was presented to him, even though there was a lot of shackles in that opportunity, right? Because Prince was very controlling and he had certain things that, he allowed, which stopped them from growing in certain ways because he didn't want them to grow outside of him, really, right?
Yeah.
And they've battled that. Do you think that overshadowed him so much in his earlier part of the career that even when he got to a level of freedom per se where he's his own person, because he still seems very affected by it? Is it just reflecting and I'm seeing too much, or do you think that because you've read at least some of it so you might have some insight into it, or do you think that it's something that has just always overshadowed him or been one of those what ifs, regret, as we're going to be discussing later? But
that's hard, but you have to think about it. Somebody who basically gave you and crafted this image for you, gave you all your songs, and then told you, well, hold on for a second. It's like, what do you do? What can you really do with that? There's so much your livelihood is riding on this, so you kind of just, like you said, you kind of make the best of it with what you can do, right? But then you've got somebody saying, well, I'm changing you. Well, you can't use the band name now, so you got to change your name or work around it because I own that too. What do you do with that? It's a crazy game, so
controlling and manipulative. And I love Prince.
Yeah, it's insane. But you also have to think about it from Prince's standpoint. Like, this is my stuff that I gave you.
I wish they could have found a happy medium.
Yeah,
I know at times they did, but so much ego in that. I wonder too, because I think about, that time period and so much of Morris Day was the character, right? I wonder, do you feel that hampered? Like, we've heard Jaleel White talk about how, playing the character of Urkel at some point hindered him to a degree.
Yeah.
Do you think playing the character of Morris Day hindered Morris Day as an artist? We know how it helped him.
Yeah.
And we know what it did. Oak Tree and Fishnets are still like the bomb, in addition to all the with the time. 82, they dropped, or was it? Yeah, 82. But 81.
I think that I think he found the balance later on. Not early, but later on. I think he's making it work for him now. Now, but I think they're the character and who he is as a person. I think they're one and the same. I think that he's controlled it, like, just with maturity. Like, it's not necessarily because of the whole Prince thing. I think it was just just growing up and learning stuff.
Do you think there's still ladies still trying to relive their 80s fantasies?
Of course. Have you been to a Morris Day concert?
No,
lately?
I have not.
I have. Every time, usually Morris Day comes to town, I go. He did a show at the Novo. You'd be surprised at all the old hoochies is up in there.
What did the Novo used to be? What is that?
It's downtown. Fig at the LA Live. So.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. Used to be the Conga
room.
Microsoft or the Conga room.
Conga room.
Used to be the Conga room.
Used to be
the one
Conga room.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But even at the Hollywood Bowl, he did the Hollywood Bowl over the summer. Same thing. People. Everybody. People are still going to rock with Morris Day.
Because I found it hilarious. I was listening to, I think, the R&B Money podcast, and they were talking about the New Edition Legacy Tour and how the old New Edition groupies were still roaming the hotel looking for their one night only with Bobby.
Of course. It's never going to stop. Why would it?
Oh my God. You know, their road manager, as reflected in the New Edition story, Jeff Dyson, is a good friend of mine. I'm going to get Jeff on here because I want to talk about that.
Sure. It's never going to stop.
It's hilarious to me. Let's see. Forensic Accountant says, look what Jesse Johnson was able to do. Who honestly thought Jesse Johnson would have the success he did? I actually thought Jesse Johnson would have had more success. I loved him with the pink guitar and the Jerry curl and the, slightly rock funk edge. And I feel as though he never really took off, even though Be Your Man, I Want My Girl, and what was the other single from there? I'm missing it. There was one more from that album. It just didn't break through, and that saddened me. But I feel like because at the time the industry was like, can only be one Prince. I think the same thing befell Andre Simone. I think he was too much kind of a carbon. Everybody wants their own version, but it's like, give me the same thing, only different. So I don't know if I would consider Jesse Johnson he was successful, certainly. I'm not taking anything away. Like I said, I still bump those singles now. You can find them on a playlist, active. But I don't know. It was a hit, Pretty Brown Mimi says, grow up, ladies. All those New Edition guys are married. Grow up. People still be in their fantasy moments. I don't know. Clearly.
Yeah,
clearly.
And the age that we live in now, for an Instagram post or a picture, it's still going to happen.
Or just to they might want to relive their youth one night, like when they were young, free, and fine.
And it just might happen that night.
They're talking about Candy Girl for life. I hope they are not. They're not still taking down. We're not gonna think that. When we come forward, we will get into some things that we're going to talk about. T.I. and Tiny's victory in court. We're also going to talk about Kaize Gonzidrick. Hope I'm saying her name correctly. And Kevin Porter Jr. We'll get into that story. And of course, more trending topics and headlines. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.